Echo.
So what are we doing here?
We're just chit-chatting. I was telling him about the Linux commands.
So I found like a Python module that will basically find everything I need, rather than trying to do it all by hand myself.
Are you gonna share?
Let's see. Hold on.
Well, give us the rundown, Andrew, of where we're at. We're recording now. This is February 26, 2019 at 9:02 p.m. on a Tuesday night.
Alright, let's see.
Andrew is the man with the plan. Once you kind of go over this with us, as far as the project goes, then we're going to, I guess, need to go through the presentation to make sure we got everything in order. I looked at it, Greg. Needs some more content, but I mean, it looks good.
Let's see.
Yeah, I agree. It needs a lot more content, or some more content. I mean, I guess it was a good start.
I'll be honest with you. I checked out last week.
Well,
I had a meeting. Well, we did a midterm. Hold on, I did a midterm on Wednesday.
Yeah,
I think I hadn't done any real work since then. I didn't even do anything on Sunday.
Let's see if I can do this.
Alabama.
Oh, there it goes.
There we go.
What if I...
So, Andrew, let me ask you a quick question. Do you think I need to get the Pi 3?
I'm not sure yet. I haven't had time to really mess with it. I only just got the thing, but this is an example of the data that I'm able to retrieve.
So are you gonna be able to put that in a table?
Well, no, it'll be a JSON object, which is kind of like an array.
Okay.
And most databases will operate off of JSON objects. So basically, I have the client running a Python script that I found, which is this right here, the IW parse. And this is kind of like the structure of the data. It does it initially in a Python list, so stuff like MAC address, what channel the Wi-Fi's on, and then encryption, so WEP, WPA, WPA2.
So is it going to organize it?
Right. So I can kind of go through and edit the Python, which is what I did to get it to print. I added additional stuff to put it in the appropriate format so I can actually read it from Node. But for right now, I'm kind of just testing how to format it properly and then send it off. Like if I should convert the data on the Pi or on the server type stuff.
So I guess the million-dollar question is do you have a is there a template dashboard that we can use to go with it?
Not at this point. I still got to make this push to a database. I actually took tomorrow off. I'm gonna spend most of the day working on this. But for right now, I mean, it should be relatively simple to put in a format that I can deposit in like a database, and then kind of create a query or something to show it.
Yeah. So let me ask you this.
That's kind of the proof of concept, because it doesn't have to be the completed project.
Well, let me ask you this. So each pieces of those data, are you going to convert to a what do I call it, either variable or something that it's going to put in a table, correct?
It'll be since it's a SQL database, so
okay.
It'll be a relational database. You'll have you'll probably have some data about the Pi itself. So right now, everything that's out here is just this is Wi-Fi that it sees when it scans.
Yeah.
So you'll probably have some information about the Pi, like host name, maybe MAC address, yada yada yada, maybe where it's at, type stuff, and then it's gonna have like tables with foreign keys associated with that Pi that give where is it? Where's the end of this? Like this record. So this is a single record in terms of like an access point.
Okay, so it's gonna pull that single record into a into a table. Am I correct with that?
Right. So
okay, and then from that table, go ahead.
Right, each individual one right here. So this is a record. Where is it? This is a record where these curly braces are. This is another record. So each of those will be inserted in a table with like a foreign key that points to the Raspberry Pi device. That way you can associate, like say you have 5 different Pis floating around there, and you'd have this Pi can see these APs and the data coming from those, like signal strength and stuff.
I got you. Okay, so and then once it's plugged into the table, correct? Then you'll be able to take and from the website or from the web page, it'll pull from the dashboard into a.
Well, it'll pull from the database after I insert these records. The idea, I haven't tested it yet because I haven't really gotten down and worked with the database all that much because I've been working on this. But the idea is this gets inserted in a table. The database activates an event and notifies your client, which is your browser, that a record's changed, and it shows it.
Okay. So like, and we're not going to really get too fancy with the database, correct, or the dashboard right now, correct? Unless there's something.
It might be static data to start out with.
Yeah, unless there's something we can use.
Yeah,
unless there's something that we can, something that's already out there, this template like that we can pull that information and put into a website, correct?
Yeah, like the next module is what, on the 3rd? Or the next milestone?
No, it's the 10th. The 10th.
Is it the 10th? Really?
Yes, it's the 10th.
Oh man, I've been operating off of it's the 3rd. I don't know what I was thinking.
Yeah, because don't be pushing this time too fast. We got. Let me look real quick. Computer. I think it's the 10th. I think I remember seeing it on the 10th.
Let's see, Capstone.
All we gotta do is look at the Gantt chart. Well, I'll tell you what, I created a stupid website. Why don't we go to it and look at it?
Midterm peer evaluation. Oh, okay, so I've been thinking. No, milestone 2. March 3rd.
Really? No, the 10th. Look, see?
I mean, I'm looking at milestone 2, and it says March 3rd.
That's interesting. Why do we have the 10th on the schedule here?
On the syllabus?
Oh, on our Gantt chart.
I had no idea. That's the trouble with following that, I guess. We'll have to work on that. 'Cause the submission deadline is the 3rd. I'm looking right at it right now.
Okay. Yeah, and I see it right there too. Okay.
Well, that throws a kink in everything.
We may have to adjust this right here.
But did that kind of make sense where I'm at?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you got it. So, I think we're pretty much there. You need to show me how to do it. I've got the link.
In terms of proof of concept, that's pretty much a proof of concept in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, because I'm looking at this Gantt chart that we got to fill out too, and I think you've got. Have you started the PostgreSQL server configuration?
I'll be doing that throughout this week.
Okay.
Some of the parts took me longer than I expected, so I'll be doing that the rest of this week.
Well, I guess I'm going to be going up Thursday, and I guess when I get home, I can work on it after we get through meeting with these people. It's not what it's going to be. We'll probably be done by lunch, maybe a little bit earlier, correct?
I didn't think it was going to take that long.
Oh, no, it's like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
where did it go? Just some stuff about the project, kind of why. Because some people may prefer like Python, and you might get somebody there that's like, "Why didn't you pick Python?" And that kind of shows.
Is that you?
Choice there. Pardon?
Is that you in that picture?
Which picture?
The one you just sent me. It does look like him.
Oh, the guy stretching? No, that's not me.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm positive.
All right, let's kind of turn the page for a second. And, we need to look at milestone 3 or 2. I guess, guys, if y'all are up for it, we need to probably work on milestone 2 probably Sunday afternoon to get set up, get it ready to turn in.
Yeah.
But we'll probably have to work on it. But I think let's go over the PowerPoint, and then if we got some time, then we can discuss the rest of the installation or rest of milestone 2. Is that okay with everybody?
Sure.
Okay, so I figure with Andrew, you're going to be remotely with us. Okay. I'm going to be there. Pawan, are you going to be there? Okay.
Did he send the address?
He did.
Cool. Okay. And I was there the other day, so I mean, if y'all want to meet, close to it, I can either drive you in or guide, let you follow in.
Okay.
What place? Exit 273, Wade Green.
No, Chastain, the one right before it.
Okay. Yeah, that would be great if you can, at least for myself. I'm planning to get out early from the house because the traffic sucks around Orlando.
Well, see, I'm coming up from the south, and I'm going to have to come around the 285, right there at the Braves Stadium, the new one, and where it slows down right through there. So I'll be running on.
You come up 75 or 85?
I'm coming up 85, but then I'll just get over in 285 and get on that go west.
I don't know. I'd almost tell you to come straight through because of construction. You might want to waze it first.
I don't want to go straight through. I think that's a big mistake because it gets congested pretty early through the middle.
Right. But I know 285 gets congested all day long. So.
Well, it's congested up there in that one little area where Cobb is. That's where it normally gets congested.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to leave early. I'll probably be up there early, so.
Likewise, I'm gonna get out early. Probably I'll leave the house about 6 o'clock. I should be there about 7:38.
No, I may be there around that time too, for one. So.
Yeah, traffic sucks. I'd rather arrive there on before time than
I'll
sitting.
probably be in that area about 8:45. But I'm right here anyway, so.
I looked at the map, or I Googled it, and it showed an hour and 24 minutes for me. So.
Not bad.
It's not too bad.
And then Andrew's going to sit back and laugh at us from his house. But you know what, though, Andrew? You've done a lot of work on the programming side, so you get a pass for not having to go.
Oh, I appreciate that.
So
it just doesn't seem economical to drive 6 hours for 30 minutes.
Is it really 6 hours for you?
No, it's a 3-hour drive, but round trip, It's like, ugh. Dude, that'll kill an entire day.
Well, I mean, I'm an hour and 24 minutes, so you figure 3 hours for me.
Yep.
Same for me. Maybe it will worth it for the final presentation.
Yeah,
I'll definitely be there for the final presentation.
Yeah, this is.
You better. But all right, so here's the deal. All right, so I figure since I'm the project leader, I don't want to toot my own horn or whatever. Hey, I'm the project leader, but I figure I'll get up, introduce the project, introduce you guys as far as everybody. Hey, my name's Chris. I'm the project leader. The title is Distributed Wi-Fi Availability Monitoring. The project is, and I guess, is this concept slide? Is this what we're going to? I'm going to kind of just give a brief description.
All of that sounds good, and it shouldn't take more than 10 minutes to just go over the project itself. But do we have to hit maybe financial aspect of it? Or
I don't think so. No.
Other than mentioning this is kind of like low cost because Raspberry Pis are cheap and yada yada yada. That's about it.
Yeah, it's not going to be in any kind of detail. They want us to present to them as a client, or they're the client and we're the business, and we're presenting them with our product. That's what it's going to be like. But we're not going to say anything about money wise.
That's why you have to hit cost somehow. You don't get details, but you can hit the high level. Is the low cost
essentially you need to define your problem statement. It's like the fact that there's no real tools out there to give you information about what the end user experience is like and whether or not, for example, the 2.4 radio on one of your access points has gone out. That's kind of what we're trying to solve here, is give information about what the end user experience is like in terms of quality and speed, and perhaps other things like finding problems with your wireless networks without having somebody to complain to find that. So you find it before people really start noticing it, if you can. And then, the solution is we've got these Raspberry Pis. They're sitting out there in your buildings, polling for wireless access points, collecting data, and sending it back for you to analyze and pick up where your problems are. Okay, maybe this access point's lost a radio. We need to replace it. Maybe the access point's dead completely, or maybe the coverage isn't that great. And then the Raspberry Pi is a great solution for that because, low power, it's small, and it's cheap. And pretty much all the tools are there to survey your building and wireless access to find the problems.
Okay.
You just said it all.
Well, I guess that's.
Can I get that recorded? Can I get that recording, please? I gotta try that out every so often. And I'll practice it over and over, and I'll just verbatim.
It's on there. It's up there. Hey, Greg, real quick while I'm thinking about it before I forget, will you bring one of those and I'll take back with me since I have the 0 one, and it doesn't have the 2, and I'll just take one back with me to configure, because I think, like Andrew said, that the 0 doesn't have the dual wireless. So I'd like that.
Are you trying to do a demonstration?
For me? No.
Yeah, if you're going to bring one.
No.
For your own use.
No, I want to take one back, because if I'm doing the testing like you, I want to take one back with me, so I don't have to purchase one since they've already bought them. So I want to take one back.
When I set up the new Pi that I got, I'm kind of going along and creating a document for everything I'm doing.
Okay, let me ask you this real quick, and while I'm thinking about it. Are we going to have a way to copy this image and then put it on the other Pis? Are we doing 10 at a time? Because that may be a question too. How are we going to implement this in wide scale?
You can copy an image from an SD card and then just basically copy it over to another SD card.
Why don't you do this, Andrew? Once you get through with your device, copy that from the SD card, put it on the whatever that site is that we talked about when we first started, and then we can pull it down and just GitHub and just pull it down and you tell us how to do it.
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay. All right, so back to this presentation. I know, Andrew, you just kind of pretty much summed it up, but kind of want this thing a little organized, a little prepared for. So I guess I'll try to do the opening, and I'll do some kind of opening spiel about what we're doing and why we're doing it. And then I'm going to hand it off to you to do the nuts and bolts of it.
You talking to me?
Yes.
Sure.
And then Greg and Pawan, you can kind of finish this out. Andrew, you decide what you want to talk about, and then the rest of it, Pawan and Greg can mop it up. My wife is telling me to use my inside voice.
We are inside. Not using my voice.
Shut the door.
She just texted me.
Technology is a burden.
She probably heard that. So, I tell you what, how about this? Let's do this. Pawan and I will open us up and get us going. And Andrew, you'll hit the nuts and bolts, and then Greg, you'll conclude. Okay? Does that sound okay?
Sounds like a plan.
Andrew?
Then we have to.
I'm good with that.
Open the floor for questions. I'm sure they will.
Yeah, that was my last slide I was going to throw in there. Was any questions or comments?
And he said to be prepared because they're going to... So, Andrew, I don't know. I mean, I can probably try my best to answer some of the technical questions, but I don't want to look like a dummy, and I'll be honest with you. You know a lot about it, so I'm probably going to depend on you to go through the harder answers. And I mean, look, I've been in computers for a long time. I know what I'm doing, but some of this is a little over my head. I understand the concept, but as far as the configuring the SQL and pulling that information, you're going to have to answer those questions.
Yeah, that's fine.
We'll be your cheerleader, Andrew.
Absolutely.
I mean, they can't get that granular because it is supposed to be a learning project.
I'm learning. I tell you, you showed me a lot, Andrew. I've learned a lot from you, so just by watching. Even though I hate programming.
But yeah, if I was going to explain like what we're doing, it'd be from like the standpoint of we're using, for example, Node is kind of like the backbone of the project. It's because low level, it's fast, it's familiar because it's using JavaScript. It's in terms of performance compared to something like Python for a real-time application, it's faster. And then like the database, so Node.js is event-driven, so you can emit an event to a client, and then it does something based off of that event. Well, PostgreSQL can do the same thing, where it's event-based. You insert a record, it emits an event to your dashboard, and it updates the dashboard, which is kind of like the idea.
Okay.
As a whole.
Now, do you have an idea on what? Tell me how you're going to pull that information from the database. I mean, is it just a command? Is it? You said you were using an event.
You can set up triggers. You can set up triggers in the database to where every time a new insert is in there, it triggers an event to where I have a client that's connected to the website listening for a new event. And then the server triggers a new event after a record is inserted, and it updates the dashboard.
That's called AJAX or A.
It's very similar.
Yeah, it's like Facebook when it automatically keep updating itself when you're on the Facebook app and.
Right.
Let me ask you this. So is the device gonna push the information, or is the server gonna request it?
The device is gonna push the information.
And you're gonna have it set up on a timer to continue to refresh, or is it gonna be timed?
Right. So eventually, it's just gonna continuously send data after it connects, and after it creates a TCP connection with the server, it begins to send data. So every 5 seconds, maybe, or every second. So it's kind of like pseudo real time. Real time would be the instant it finds it, but it's probably not going to be that often. It's probably going to be more like every 5 seconds.
Now we're going to be able to do where we have multiple at the same time, so we're not going to have like a page for each one.
Right.
Okay.
So it'll just be like, hopefully because a lot of the dashboards, you know, like the line charts where you can have multiple devices shown in a line chart. I would think something like that, maybe.
Okay.
Or a bar graph, or who knows.
Right.
Yeah, I wouldn't want a separate page for each device.
Right.
Yeah, that would be a little bit confusing.
What do you think the questions we're going to get asked by them? I mean, GJ kind of hinting around where some of them are going to be pushing our envelope a little bit, so to speak.
I mean,
today I was in one of the sales pitch. A vendor came in and they were trying to sell their products to us, or they were trying to get a contract from us. So for us we need to try to get the business from them, convince them we are the best, convince them we have the real solution, convince them that is a low cost, convince them that we are expert. So I think that's the whole idea.
a big part of it is going to be like, what problem are you solving, and is this going to become a problem to support it?
And I can see something like, why should we choose this over some other handheld device, or why can't I just use the app for stuff like that versus, purchasing this product.
Most of that's going to come down to cost.
Yeah.
Well, and also that you can put these devices.
Investment.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can put these in your, around the campus, and with no interaction, they're going to send out information to your server, and they're going to present you with information, kind of like a real-time client that's running on your network, and you can kind of leave them there and get a snapshot of the information that you can use to improve your wireless.
Right.
Did I say that right?
Like in terms of investment, it's a low investment, and it's going to be extremely scalable, to where you can, you really don't. A lot of different things. You'll buy it, and then you have to continuously pay tons of money to keep it working, and then expanding it to new areas. So this is like, you have a pretty much a flat cost associated with it, where you have to have a server, and then you need the Raspberry Pis, and that's it. And you can expand it at will for a fixed price. And that's essentially it.
Well, I mean, really, I mean, here's the deal. Are we just gonna pretty much say you've already purchased the Raspberry Pis? They're your devices, so I mean, all we're gonna do is put the software on, and you know.
Yeah, but that would be a little bit weird.
I mean, because I don't really know how to. I mean, I know what you're fixing to say, but I mean, that's kind of, I don't know. I don't really know what they're looking for,
to be honest with you.
It's like we are voluntold for something. We are volunteered to do something, but we are voluntold. We are told to do it. So this is the same thing. This project, they're telling us this is what we want, and we signed up for it. So, but we still have to do the sales pitch to them.
Yeah, you don't want to say it's, well, because you asked for it.
And you purchase the price. We have to do it, so it's part of our master's program, and we want
the biggest thing is, you got to tell them, if most vendors are going to say what your problem is. That'll be associated with cost or time investment, or just some gap in monitoring and blah blah blah, and then they're gonna tell you what their product can do, and then they're gonna say, this solves this problem, this problem, this problem, and here for the low price of whatever a Raspberry Pi costs.
Yeah.
That's like every vendor in a nutshell.
Right.
Yeah. And then the other thing about these Raspberry Pis, they're mobile. Once these are configured, they can use it in any campus or housing facility they have. So that's the other good thing about it. As long as they're in the Kennesaw network, they should work.
We still haven't got that information for that, have we?
No.
The username they need. GJ said he will create a username for login of those devices, right?
Yeah.
I think it will be easy. I am not concerned whatsoever.
Well, hey, Greg, don't send this to him tomorrow right away. I know he wants it, but give me some more time to look it over tomorrow. I'll take a look at it in the morning one more time. It needs to be completed. I mean, have you guys taken a look at it? Let's run through it real quick, if you don't mind.
So we should avoid vague descriptions. Placing the Raspberry Pis in troubled locations to read the data needed. What data is needed? What are you talking about with troubled locations? It kind of needs more clarification.
But
because that's what's gonna get you, especially if somebody is sharp and they typically like to mess with people.
And that's what they're going to do. That's what I feel like they're going to do. They're going to mess with us.
They're going to pick at you in vague locations like this.
Right, but that's the beauty of the PowerPoint presentation. You don't want to put everything in there, and once you do that, it becomes boring, and you'll directly read off of the PowerPoint.
Yeah, and that's the idea behind the PowerPoint.
Yeah, I think it's better to.
I would pare it down to closer to bullet points. This is like full sentences.
Yeah.
And if you're trying to do that. So maybe placing Raspberry Pis where, let's see.
Chris, are you sharing your screen?
I'm not. Hold on a second. I'm just in it. Hold on. I've got the one that I'm recording. I don't really want to mess with it, but I will share this. All right. All right. So we're on the concept page. And so I'm going to go to the old school pen and piece of paper. Concept. All right, so placing Raspberry Pis in troubled locations to read data that's needed. We need to change that line there a little bit.
Let's see.
Are you still there, Andrew?
Yeah, I'm kind of just reading it. I was reading some of the other slides too.
Yeah, we don't need that Gantt chart in there either. So
Okay.
So I think I'm going to remove Raspberry Pi 0 from the last one at slide 8, because I don't think that's really going to work for the project. Because it needs to be able to discover the 5 gigahertz range.
Oh, you're talking about a 7? Okay.
really, I don't know if it really needs to say concept. Well, I guess it could say concept. Really, my brain
Could be idea. It could be
problem statement.
Yeah.
You kind of have to define what you're trying to solve before you can solve it.
Yeah. Let's let me put what we put. Let me look at what we put down in our statement that we sent. The first project. Alright, so our shouldn't we put that in there? I mean, we can edit this down a little bit. I'm gonna put a new slide right here just to kind of give us.
This kind of goes over why I picked certain things already from the last time.
Yeah.
I'd say maybe I'd put in another slide to why I did Node.js primarily.
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, though, when I switch over to you and you're talking about it, you put what you want to in a slide because you're going to be talking about it. So, I know that's not right.
You may put that in a PowerPoint and transfer it in.
What?
What you're having trouble with.
Oh no, I'm good with it. I'm just I think I'm gonna chop it down a little bit, but I'm debating on how I want to word it or how if I want to.
Yeah, if you kind of pare down some of the specifics in that statement, you kind of got it right there.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was wanting to. I was trying to think on how to do it though. What I want to
have a title for it.
Yeah, I just kind of threw it in here though. Somebody grab it and do it if you want to. I'm just trying to. My brain's not really working right now for some reason. It's like I'm off in another la la land or something.
What is it gonna be like overview?
Yeah, you could say overview, but that's probably going to be your concept. But yeah, I would say overview. I would say overview.
Okay.
You can be a little bit more specific. You can say Wi-Fi connectivity issues at Kennesaw State University housing or something like that.
Well, it's not just housing; it's the whole campus. I would just say KSU.
Wi-Fi connectivity issues. Or
That sounds good. I'm trying to put my brain into a salesperson and think about what they would say. Yeah, that looks pretty good right there. Oh, where did he go?
Didn't do it, wasn't me.
Chris, is that you editing?
It is.
Okay. I'll leave you alone. So are we assuming that the audience know what is the issue?
Yeah, because they called us in. What you say?
We are directly diving into the solution, that's why. So, Andrew, I guess this will be more for you. Besides cost, what benefit these Raspberry Pis would have versus the Fluke device, networking device, where you can monitor the signal weaknesses and interference and so forth?
Well, I'd probably say the ease of getting up and started. Fluke meters are not easy to understand to the layman. They're not really convenient. Like you mentioned, aside from cost, I mean, fluke meters are great, but let's be realistic here. You aren't buying a dozen fluke meters.
You know how much they cost? Those things are
About 1,200.
Some of them are 12,000 or 3,000, 4,000.
For the same number of fluke meters as we bought Raspberry Pis, like we might as well we'll buy a Raspberry Pi for every room in every building on your campus. Like, if you actually want to start getting into that, because holy cow, those things are expensive.
What you think about that screen, that overview screen? I put in the notes the whole overview statement that we sent in our project.
I mean, that one bullet point kind of is a pretty good overview by itself.
Okay. And then I put in the notes. I put the notes. I put the whole thing.
Right.
All right. So this conceptual idea, who wrote that?
I did.
Okay. What do you think about that? No, I mean it's fine. I just seems like it needs something else.
Graphically or content-wise?
I don't know, and maybe I'm just again.
He's like, it needs pizzazz.
Yeah.
I don't think you want to do too much pizzazz, for this level. I mean, no blinking lights, please. Gonna give everybody a seizure.
I don't know. If the guy that's going to ask a lot of questions is epileptic, that could be to our benefit.
Oh, maybe.
There we go. There we go. That's pizzazz right there.
I don't know about pizzazz.
Glad you guys made me laugh. It was a long day.
Sorry. I had to go there. That does give me an idea, though.
Oh, no. Yeah, he's got me nervous.
I think you can say the data will be on the dashboard
It's already have all the pictures on my computer because I put them on the website. Have y'all seen the website?
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen it in a while.
The bottle play data and push the data.
Because I think I did a pretty good job on it. If I have to pat myself on the back, I mean, I'm going to. This doggone Mac battery now ain't lasting long at all. I have abused it. Alright, now I got all those in there, so let's do this.
How about placing the Raspberry Pis in areas identified for improvement?
Yeah.
That sounds good. There we go. That's what it was needing.
Record insertions, trigger events to update monitoring dashboard. Maybe.
Works for me.
Yeah.
It kind of seems like there's a natural progression in the conceptual idea, so I'm trying to follow that.
Okay.
Do you want to put the timing in real time? Yep, that's it.
Yeah. And then let's see.
I think that sums it up.
Collect historical data.
Or analyzation.
It's kind of like if you have a problem and you're trying to narrow it out in the time frame. I'm just trying to condense that.
I don't know if historical data is good. How about
collect historical data for analysis.
how about analytical data?
That's a better word.
How about big data?
We're just throw out buzzwords. Let's see what sticks.
What did you just say?
We're coming up with different phrases, words that makes that sounds better for the presentation.
You just say wireless data.
Weaknesses, maybe. Potential.
You are the weakest link. Nobody got that. Okay.
Something like that. I misspelled interruption. Potential causes of interruption.
Your last name's Brooks, right?
Yep. How about that? Collect wireless data over time to identify potential causes of interruptions. Or is that too wordy?
I think it's a little out there.
Pardon?
I think it's a little wordy.
Yeah,
I think go ahead and collect analytical data. Just leave it at that.
The other way you can do it, Andrew, I assume you will go over this because
data over time.
Yeah. That'll work. That looks better.
The other way you can do it is just to do bulletin, Raspberry Pi, collect data or push data, event trigger events and collect data, and then you can actually go one by one and explain what do you mean instead of having all of this there for them to read. It'll make it more interesting, and that way the audience will be alert.
How about placing devices in areas identified for improvement? It's more ambiguous and allows me to explain it further on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does that look
all right?
Yeah.
I got
I got off on my little tangent up here. Of course, I don't know. It needs to be centered, and I'm not digging that.
I think it looks good.
Who's doing that? Stop.
Mobile.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we need to say anything about heat mapping. You're gonna think they're gonna think we're like implementing heat mapping or something.
What is heat mapping, Andrew?
It's like you walk through with like a device, a wireless device, and you import your building layout, and you walk through, and it gives like a color gradient of what your wireless signal's like throughout the building.
Ah, okay.
You have to have a we did a survey. A lot of times they do a survey for you, and
they'll tell you kind of what your signal strength and
what your
radios are doing.
I got you.
That look better y'all on the front page.
I think it looks great.
Or do we need our mugs
on the front page?
If you say no, then all that work
is
I'm
good.
just
I'm just gonna
hang up and go to bed.
No comment.
Oh, so you were saying...
Chris, you're not in the mood for criticism?
No.
I wouldn't say criticism, for you're not in the mood for compliments of improvement.
Well, if you hate it, then change it. That's what I'm saying.
I don't hate it.
No, Chris, that's a strong word. We might not like it, but we'll never hate it.
Greg's going to sleep. He's snoring in there.
No, I'm still here. Sorry, I had it muted. I was trying to yell at my kid. Y'all didn't want to hear that. Now everything looks fun.
I'm editing the thing about the dashboard right now.
Should we
clarify?
Should we put Project 12 on this main slide, like the first slide, or what else should we put on here? I mean, we're not really a company,
to be honest with you, but
nah, I'd leave it like this. It, gives it a title, gives it the who's still working on it. But I don't think I would do much more.
I don't like that, Andrew, that sentence. Or
yeah, I was like looking at it. This one's weird.
Dashboard, real time, wireless health.
I don't like the word about.
Yeah.
Data wireless health. There you go.
Hey, I like that.
There you go.
That's just like words, paper. No content.
Well, is it real time though? If you're just gonna do it as static?
It's not going to be static when I'm finished.
You said 5-second delay, right, Andrew?
So, buzzword or phrase of the day is pseudo real time.
Ooh, big time.
That's a $5 word.
So, real time is technically correct, which is the best kind of correct.
Technical. And how we're all technically in a technical field.
Let's see. Display real-time data concerning wireless health? I don't know.
That sounds good.
Display real-time
data.
With wireless health?
How about 4 wireless health diagnosis?
That's, I actually like that. That's pretty good. Diagnosis, if I can spell.
Yes. That's why I have Word. That's why I have Office, so they do my spelling for me.
Then...
Grammarly.
So, and you can elaborate more on that point.
Yes.
What kind
I
of
like that, yeah. Make that a little bit bigger, Andrew, and just elaborate on what we're going to do.
What, like, make it bigger?
Yeah,
How's that?
Hey, that's awesome.
Andrew, you're not helping. Chris will hang up.
Don't make the leader mad.
No way. Hey. I'm only criticizing
the bull, you get the horns.
Hey, I'm only critical of my own work, not y'all's.
He'll take his work and go home.
We'll take my toys and go home.
To a degree, that kind of leaves it open for me to
etc. Just do etc. Just do etc. for the next bullet. Or miscellaneous. There you go.
Well, it's also gonna. We'll be able to search for collected data.
Ooh, I like that word. Search and display. Ooh, nice. Somebody's brain is still working. That looks good.
How much coffee are you on?
Oh, you're joking, but I drink a lot of coffee. I had a pot today.
Keep drinking.
Actually, no. Might be the alcohol. No.
Whatever the reason, keep it going. We're going to bed.
Yeah.
All right. So I don't know about mentioning heat mapping. Is my thing.
Yeah. Delete it.
That one kind of scares me. I don't want to give them the idea that this is going to happen when it probably won't.
Yeah. Get rid of it. They don't even know about heat mapping.
What's a heat map? That's a great question.
Well, it's when you do a wireless survey. Alright, so a wireless, and we had a company do it, and it was worthless. I mean, absolutely worthless. Even though he bragged about the machine that he had that he went in and did the survey with, and the access point still sucked because he didn't put enough in, and the device that he used wasn't strong enough. But that's a sore subject with me.
Should we put like a picture for the dashboard to kind of give them an idea of what it might look like?
Well, do we even know what it was going to look like?
57 Chevrolet.
We don't, but they don't need to know that. No. I mean, we could...
I can go take a picture of my car dashboard.
Let's see.
There we go. This is the dashboard right here.
It looks great.
But Juan, you may be scared. You may want to be nervous about it. It sounds like he's got a bromance going on.
No, it's the only picture that I can grab. So. Sorry, y'all. I'm a little. I guess I'm running on.
Oh, I know. We can add pictures of Raspberry Pis.
I was gonna bring one up and have it displayed and then let Chris take it home.
See, we can put something like this in there. Sarah Lee.
Just out of curiosity, since you're pulling pictures, do you think it will be helpful if we put some Raspberry Pi pictures in the slides as well?
Yeah, I thought about that. Just to kind of add something to the page. It kind of looks empty with just text sometimes.
Yeah, and then they will know. Some of them might not know what they might have heard of it,
true.
but they might not know physically what it look like.
How about that?
Oh gosh, that's scary. I like it, but it's terrifying. I hope nobody actually expects that. I mean, as long as we this disclaimer, yeah, we love to do this, but that might be aggressive.
I'm just kind of concerned about this dashboard. They might hold us accountable for it. Say, guys, you had this in your PowerPoint, and you might just make a disclaimer in there. This is an example dashboard that
could potentially given us. Yeah.
Is there a way we can have a dashboard with just text? Is there like, let's see. One, I just thought of something. Where'd it go? I had, like, for example, share screen. Like this right here.
Do it.
It's something like along those lines. That's pretty basic as an example.
Do it. Copy and paste it.
The idea is not to make it difficult, where it's gonna be taking a lot of effort and energy to replicate something like it.
Well, he said that in the first part of the capstone or whatever, when we first got started, didn't he say that
he wants like charts and stuff?
Well, what I was going to say was, didn't he say that he could get somebody to design on some of the parts that we couldn't do? He could get somebody to help out with that.
There's your dashboard.
He said something, but I don't recall. GJ, right?
I don't know if GJ said it. I think Dr. Lee said it. I don't know. I don't really know. I mean, we could put just the dashboard image to come, or
I guess even if you put the dashboard in, you just have Andrew, when you go over it, just say this is a sample
not
dashboard.
Representative of the final product.
Exactly.
It's still a working
possibility.
Something like that.
Possibility.
Have a very fine text at the bottom of it, like the contract, or when you go buy things.
You didn't read the fine print.
You see the budget that you're giving us, right?
For free $99, this is what you get.
For a 100 on our grade, this is what you get.
What's up with these cameras?
I can't really figure it out because all I did was just type in simple Wi-Fi dashboard. What about that?
I think that's pretty simple. Andrew, don't you think that's really simple?
That is pretty simple.
That looks simple. Maybe.
You don't want something with a lot of text in it. Like, for example, you get like a bar graph and it's like statistics on Pornhub. That'd be a bad look.
Was that from Pornhub?
No, I'm just joking. I don't know. I'm just saying, it's like, you don't want to put just anything in there if it's got a lot of stuff on it.
How about that?
Here's a computer running a dashboard, which you won't get, but that's a computer running a dashboard.
There's some wire chart right there.
How about this? This kind of looks interesting. 1 second.
Questions.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, that looks good. Kevin, or whatever.
Do something like this.
Take
a screenshot of something like this.
That looks good.
But I'd like to keep it simple and just say, this is kind of some information that it'll show. We'd like to do bar charts and stuff, but don't really have like a representative image.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Instead of promising even
I'd rather not promise them, you know,
I would
the world.
say go simple and like what we have right now, and if we can elaborate on that, you know, come out with a final product being better.
Say it will be a little bit more graphical than this.
There's gonna be explosions and lights and stuff.
Fireworks.
I'm gonna bring the. What's the pyrotechnic? That's it.
Yeah. Well, I got some of that.
Can we not blow up the client?
Yeah, don't mention blowing up or explosion
when we're in there.
Bomb. Don't say bomb.
Bomb, 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 bomb. You know what movie that was from? That was from Meet the Fockers. Come on, y'all. When he was on the plane, and she was like, "Sir, could you please not say bomb?" What? Bomb, 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 bomb. I guess y'all watched the movie.
So what do we think so far of this?
Huh?
What do we think so far of this?
I like it. It looks better. No offense or anything, Greg, but we all got together. We all got together.
I put it out there saying, "Hey, it needs some work. Tell me what you want to put on it."
It looks good in a sense. It just needed some polishing. It needed some polishing and a bomb.
And a bomb.
If you say pizzazz in front of them, you have to do the jazz hands.
I'll let you do that since you're going to be on the WebEx. All right, let me ask y'all this is the most important $1 million question.
Okay.
Dressing up. Should we dress up?
I was thinking
khakis,
but
khakis and a button down probably.
I was thinking
consider this is like for the IT department. They're going to be dressed fairly casually.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking,
it seems like I saw a couple of ties and jackets. So.
Well, I was thinking about a jacket, but no tie.
The bosses. Everybody else is going to be dressed like a normal person.
So I was thinking khaki, a button-down long-sleeve shirt, and I have a sport jacket. I'm not wearing just a nice jacket.
Well, I was going to wear no jacket with a tie. But...
Business casual. That's button-down khakis.
That's it.
All right.
Basically all you need.
Easy enough.
Now go back to work after that.
Have fun when you're going home.
You show them the product, and then you sing them the theme song from, like, Aladdin. It's like, I can show you the world.
Are you sure you're not dipping into the...
He said he was drinking alcohol, so...
No, he said he was drinking coffee. And then he said something about... He's drinking an Irish coffee. How about that?
I wish.
It's mixed.
But
The best of both worlds.
let's see.
Thank you for one.
I'm not thinking I was watching TV.
Something that's bothering me is that we have periods on some things, but not all of them.
We'll take them off.
Take them off?
Yeah,
Take them off.
Yeah. In general, I don't think, like, bullet points have them.
No, not supposed to. That was a copy and paste. My error.
I think I put them in there at one point.
I put one of them in there because
I'm the one who did it, so
guilty.
All right, it was a
one
good
who did one of them.
I'll delete
I'm gonna leave it in
that.
the overview.
I deleted it.
That works better.
I
did that one.
Well, okay,
overview,
then.
I mean, overview should be probably need a period and take the bullet point out because there's only one.
That's true.
Look.
Potentially. It's like a full sentence, too.
Yeah.
Whoever did that Raspberry Pi picture of the circuit board, you need to add a Raspberry
to go with it. Okay, come on, y'all.
Hold on.
Come on, y'all. Get with the picture. Program the picture, the whatever you want to call it.
I wonder if we should put one in each corner of each one.
You go ahead and do it.
No.
I really wanted to get the PNG one so I didn't see the white edges.
We should be able to do a.
I think that slide looks great.
I'm gonna upload these or download these all to a PowerPoint. Anyway, I can go back and doctor that up.
I'd rather leave them in Google Slides. But it doesn't matter, whatever. We gotta send it to GJ.
Well, I guess we do gotta send it to GJ,
don't we?
Yeah. Well, when he said earlier, he said it probably should bring one on a flash drive, just to have it.
Yeah.
Just in case. So.
Oh. Look at that.
Okay. What did you do? Oh yeah. Get rid of the black. There we go. That's how you do graphic art. I'm a stickler for all that. I don't like the whole. How about this? Come on. Do it right.
Did that do it? I got it.
Yes, do it. Put it in every corner if you can.
Do you really want that?
I don't care.
It doesn't matter.
No. Just leave it in that one. That's fine.
It's tasteful.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're about to break the record tonight.
Oh, gosh.
It's payback for last week.
Yes. I'm happy with it. How about y'all?
I think it looks
pretty good.
Yeah. Like you said, it just needed a little bit of polishing. Greg, you did a really good job.
Yes. I think tomorrow I'm going to put a whole new world soundtrack behind it and we'll play it.
Why don't you? I think if you put classical music, it will be better.
Hey, go back and look at questions now. What do you think of that?
That looks good. I saw that earlier. Question.
Hold on. Here you go.
Lord mercy.
Oh no, I kind of like it.
Oh, actually, hold on, I just had an idea. Where is it? Kind of looks like it's got raspberries in his eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it does.
Oh, but it's got that number in there. What? Does that go away? What the heck is that?
It looks like,
Oh, there you
go.
All right, it seems like we're done, or at least we're all checked out anyway.
All right, I'm stopping the recording. I shouldn't have even recorded that. So.